What's up, guys? In this video I'm going to show you how to change the deck belt on your John Deere 900 series commercial Ztrak mowers. They're pretty much all the same, everything from the 915Es on up into the 960Rs. The only difference will be if you get into a 997, those are different. But they're really easy to change. And what happened at work yesterday, a customer came in and he was hearing a bad knocking noise, and he thought something major was wrong with his mower, and all it ended up being was the tensioner arm for the deck belt hitting the little stop stud, I call it, on the deck. And so it was a simple, easy fix, something you guys can do. Don't waste your time taking it into a place. Just have a belt. They're super easy to do, and I'm going to show you that now. But real quick, hit that like button, and if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate all my new subscribers. Thank you so much. I really like how the channel's growing. Leave a comment, and so let's get started with the video. I'll show you what I'm talking about on that deck belt.
So this mower is a Z930M, and they pretty much are all the same, like I said. But what happened is right here, this tensioner arm was hitting this, causing that noise. Now what will happen is that belt gets stretched and starts hitting that stud, causing a loud knocking noise. And oftentimes that stud will be bent forward. But I went ahead and lowered the deck and blew all the debris off of the air compressor, and you can see it's not quite as close with the deck all the way down. So I'm going to show you how to remove this tensioner spring. It's real easy. I always just use a little ratchet, but I use a little piece of rope, and I'll hook it onto that spring like this. And I'm just going to do this one-handed. Very easy to do while I'm holding even while I'm holding the camera. So you can relieve that tension and just take that spring completely off of that tensioner arm. Now next you're going to have to remove that little belt guide. All it takes is a 13mm socket. And I'm going to show you one little thing you need to keep in mind after you remove this. It's kind of like a rectangle slot in there, so you need to make sure that you put that on properly when you go to put it back on. See that rectangle hole in that arm. So now it's just as easy to remove the belt like so. And oftentimes I'll just push it off of the clutch just from the front, and then I'll pull it out once it gets off that clutch. Now keep in mind these belts, well, one real quick, to find your correct belt, you'll need to know your pin number and your deck size. And then you can get on Deere.com and find the proper belt. Now keep in mind these belts have a V-groove and a flat side, so it's important that it goes the proper way. They'll come up all twisted, so the flat side goes against that pulley, the V-groove goes into the spindles and the clutch, and the flat side of the belt goes on that idler, and this idler here. So I just feed it in through the back, and yes, you'll notice I put 2 new idlers on this unit because the bearings were bad on this one. Customer approved it, but you can just feed that belt right through from the back, and then it's just really simple. Feed the belt on as I'm showing here. So the V-groove goes into that spindle. We already got it hooked around the clutch on the back. And then make sure it goes on the proper side of that stop stud there. Then next, what I like to do is reinstall the tensioner spring before installing that guide. So I can put tension. Now notice how there's a short hook and a long hook. The long hook goes onto the tensioner arm. And if you put, it'll work the other way, but you might get some noise because it'll more likely hit that spring will hit that idler a lot more. So then just take your little rope and do the reverse, put it back on. It's real easy. And if your rope gets snagged, you can just kind of pivot, use that idler there to help remove the rope. And now it's time to put that little guide back on to that tensioner arm. Now, one thing you want to keep in mind, like I said, not only that groove, but they'll oftentimes be kind of worn where you can tighten this thing down and it'll hit that pulley if you're not careful. So you want to make sure that it's away from that pulley so it's not scraping it. That's a common thing that I'll see happen. So when you tighten it up, just make sure it's not making contact with that pulley. This is what you want it to look like. I'm going to get the camera back here. You can see it's not touching it. And guys, it's that easy to install that deck belt.
So it's really simple to do. They're going to charge you a lot of money to do that. Real quick, I'm going to show you how to find your correct belt. I have another video that I made of how to find all the parts for your John Deere mower, but I'm going to show you guys real quick in this video. So go to Deere.com and click up here and go to Parts and Service, then go to Parts, and then even if you have a residential mower, click on, or even a gator or whatever you have, click on Commercial Mowing. Oh, mistake there. Parts and Service, Parts, Commercial Mowing. And then if you have that PIN number, it'll really help narrow it down. But let's say you don't have the number. That was a Z930M, I believe. Click that. And you'll need to know your deck size. All right. So it's going to give you some options here, EFI, or let's just say we don't have EFI. Then you can scroll on down and it'll give all the breakdowns. So it'll give you the 60-inch deck, or if you have the mulch on demand, and then you'll scroll on down. Now you'll see that there's serial number breaks. So this is where you'll really need to know your PIN number. So if you have one that's above 90,000, you'll want to click there, or after 90,000, you'd want to click that one. But let's just say we're looking for the belt. You zoom in there. There's number 25. You can click on that, and it'll take it down to there, and then it'll give you the part number. Now, sometimes they'll have updated belts. So just read the information here. Then you can also look at alternative parts. Now, it'll have a price. If you've set a dealer for your location, it will give you the price. So I hope this video helps you guys out if you're needing to change your deck belt. And also if you're hearing a knocking noise or weird noise from your deck, you'll remove that belt. Make sure it's not hitting that tensioner arm isn't hitting that stud. That might be causing the problem after the belt just gets stretched over time. But while you have that belt off, it's a good opportunity to spin all the spindles and the idlers and everything, and make sure that tensioner arm isn't rocking up and down. Sometimes those bearings where it pivots will wear out, and it'll allow that tensioner pulley to scrape the deck. And I'm going to put a link down in the description also of another video that I did. It's pretty popular, where I show everything you need to know about these Ztrak mowers. So do me a favor, hit that like button, but most importantly, hit that subscribe button. And I hope you liked the video, and stick around. I'll have more videos like this coming soon, and thank you for watching.